JazzCast Pros.
Welcome to High Vibe Table Talks, the podcast to help you, the current or aspiring solopreneur, navigate the messy middle so you can make both an income and an impact. We are having impactful conversations with people walking similar paths to you, so pull up a seat. This is High Vibe Table Talks.
Welcome to the Women Empowering Women Conference live with JazzCast Pros in our podcast lounge. Yay! We've been doing some media training, having people practice their pitches.
Yes.
Do you have an elevator pitch?
Oh, do I have an elevator pitch? I like to help people make an income and an impact. So grow a business that they feel passionate about, where they can do what they love and see the ripple effects, and also make an income with, because in this economy, we need to make an income.
Absolutely. So you didn't mention your name or if you have a business or a podcast. So let's do that again.
Jesse has lots of notes for me. So I'm Rashawn Hargrave, owner of High Vibe Co-work, and I have a podcast on the JazzCast Pros network called High Vibe Table Talks, where I talk about the messy middle of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a roller coaster, and I think we need to see all the parts of it, because I think that anybody who wants to build a business can. Not that I think everybody should, but if you feel it on your heart to do so, then I think that there is a road that you can create yourself.
There were a couple things. The keynote we just listened to, Raji.
Yes.
And a couple things reminded me of some episodes that you've had.
Yep.
So I was just wondering what takeaways you had or anything that resonated with you.
I think the biggest one was your non-negotiables. As you're going through different seasons, there's going to be different people who want things from you and things you can say yes to, but knowing what your non-negotiables are, like I coach my daughter's lacrosse team. I want to go to her basketball games. I want to be able to be at home and cook meals for my family and friends. And so there are things that I could say yes to that will take away from that.
Yes.
Like she was talking about when my daughter walks across the graduation stage, am I going to be happy with this decision?
Yeah.
And I think that's such like a grounding idea to be able to have something to feel confident when you do say no. Because when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And so
Absolutely.
if you're saying yes to this job or you're traveling a lot, you're saying no to being home at mealtime with your family. And are you okay with that? And so being able to feel really grounded and comfortable with your yeses and your nos, I think is really powerful.
Right. It helps you make those decisions. So if you know this is the type of life that I'm building for myself, so it's like for you, I know you were saying okay, I want to build a business in a way where I can close my laptop and go get my daughter off of the bus. I don't want to be at a job where I might be there till 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. And then who knows, now they're eating fast food every night or whatever the case is. So those non-negotiables, like having home cooked meals, and in your case, growing the food yourself, help you to make those type of decisions, and I think that that's something that, anybody can take away, whether you are in a leadership position, whether you're a boss or an employee, and a founder, a mother, a friend, and I think one of the other things that stuck out to me, she was like, I need to be a better friend. And I loved how she actually mentioned, first of all, I just had an epiphany. I like this after show reaction thing right here. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, we should get some more live reactions from that. Ooh, I like that idea.
Yeah. Okay. So ideas just popping off. So she came out, as a speaker, and she was listing all of these things that were great about her life. She's like, I've been married for 21 years. I have 2 teenagers that are going off to college, and I have a house and I have a pool and a dog named Sparky and a white picket fence and all of the things. And she was like, let me tell you another story. Started off similar, age, title, married for 21 years, but then went into, and then I got fired, and then I didn't perform as well. And then, this thing happened and that thing happened, and marriage is actually really hard. And, she told the other part of the story, and I really appreciated her doing both of those things because that's the stuff that people relate to.
Yeah. And
another thing she said, and I wrote this down, is you're not going to be asked to give a speech if you don't have some crap to share.
Yes.
And how perfect was that?
Yeah.
to say your imperfections is what make people lean in and make
Yeah.
you, a relatable speaker. So this is for anyone who, either wants to be a speaker or wants to have a podcast or, wants to write a book, whatever it is. The stuff that you went through is the stuff that's going to allow you to be able to help people and be relatable.
Because, and even if you're in a season where you're feeling like, why me? Why am I going through this? Why is this happening to me? Her frame of reference is like, this is happening for me.
Right.
And knowing that like on the other side of this will be the speech, will be the book, will be the podcast, will be the keynote. And so going through those tough seasons can be your reason why, you know, and just being able to say like, this is going to be for me and for a reason.
Yeah.
Even as hard as those seasons can be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In just a little bit, we're breaking for lunch, and then High Vibe Table Talks is going to take over and be able to talk to a couple of people.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about doing this thing live at the Chamber of Commerce event?
I feel so high vibe right now. The women in that room are just so cool, and I'm excited to talk to them and share more about them and what they're learning here and what their business is or who they help. So
it's been 3 years since you started a podcast. You don't come from a journalism background.
No.
You don't do a lot of speeches as far as I know. How do you feel like you've evolved?
Ooh, that's a great question. I have really tried to study the art of asking questions and creating conversations. If you remember, my first interviews were like, we're just going to sit down and chat. And then I reverted back to like, I'm going to script everything.
Yeah.
And then finding that like middle ground of being able to have an overarching topic, but also being able to be more conversational. And I think it's helped me try to really like become more concise. And so have an idea or a concept and being able to get it out in a certain number of words or just make it reflect back on what they're saying.
Right.
Being able to push a little bit more because I tend to be an agreeable person. Like, yeah, you're right. But to being like, okay, you said this, but let's dig deeper into that.
And that little bit of friction is what keeps the conversation interesting too.
Yes.
And so I definitely have seen that growth in you. And I'm so glad that we settled on like overall arching, because it makes it easier for me to title an episode if it's about something. Yeah. Something pointed.
And, I'm not Mel Robbins. I'm not like Simon Sinek. Like I'm not someone who people are going to tune into because they know my name yet. And so creating a hook in the title and that conversation to bring people into it is really important when they don't necessarily know your name yet.
Awesome. Well, we are going to wrap this little section up and get ready for our guests that are coming momentarily. So stay tuned. This is elevating high vibes at our little table for our talk.
Yes. All right. So first thing first, let's take a breath. All right. Are you excited?
I am.
I am too.
Yes.
All right. Welcome back to High Vibe Table Talks. I am your host, Rashawn Hargrave, and we are live at the Women Empowering Women Conference here in Rochester, New York. I have a fabulous guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. My name is Anne-Marie Depoian.
Awesome. And what do you do? How do you impact the Rochester area?
Thank you for asking that question. So I am a certified woman-owned financial advisory firm in Irondequoit, West Irondequoit. And we focus on financial literacy and financial education for middle-income families and above. I mean, everybody should have financial literacy, right?
Yeah.
And so we know that well-informed clients stay loyal, right? We want people to understand why they're making the decisions they're making, right? Make informed decisions. And I think what else is special about us is we don't have any quotas, right? Our team, if you're working with a financial advisor that works for a firm, they have to sell those products, right? And they have quotas. So sometimes there's a bias to what they're recommending, and we don't have that.
That's great. And so women who come and work with you, what do you think the biggest struggle they have, or what is something that most women who come to you learn?
So I love having women come to work with me. And I think also because we can start people part-time. That's how I started 26 years ago. I tell women, listen, there's less than 2% of the entire population has licenses to help people with their money. Even fewer are women. So people prefer to work with women because we are more thoughtful, we're more collaborative, we're not aggressive in our approach. And so there's so many other adjectives I can use.
Yeah.
But people do tend to gravitate towards women. It is still a male-dominated field.
Yes.
And I'm not saying everyone, but I do notice that when I do a lot of public speaking, as I do, workshops and things, women tend to gravitate and say, oh my gosh, I understood everything you said.
Yeah.
And that's our highest compliment.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And since we're live here at the conference and we've had 2 sessions so far, what's something you've taken away so far today in the first 2 sessions?
Yeah, I really aligned a lot of agreement with the first speaker, Corey.
Yeah.
Because I went through all of that, right?
Yep.
The anxiety. And I think people who are high achievers, we have that, right? We put that on ourselves. And I think we're so isolated in our thought process that we don't realize other high achievers are feeling that same way.
Yeah.
So we're not alone, and that's huge, right? We really need to remember that and build a community around you. And if it's debilitating anxiety like it was for me over years and years and years, seek help. Don't try to go it alone. Seek out what works for you. So you don't have it. You don't have to suffer in it.
Yeah.
If it's chronic, right?
Yeah.
Mornings were the worst time for me. Have you ever suffered from anxiety like
Yes.
that? Right?
Yes.
When
Yep.
was your worst time of day?
Ooh, my worst time of day is at night because I start to spiral and then I scroll.
Yes.
To try to disassociate from what's going on, and then it just comes right back. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think what we do is we think about what we're afraid of, right? And then we don't try to do it because in our mind, we've already come to our own conclusion of how it's going to work out. And that hasn't happened yet, right?
Yep.
Right? So what they say, anxiety is the fear of what's going to happen. Depression is worrying about what already happened that you can't change.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
And so that leads me into one of my favorite questions to ask is what would you tell a previous version of yourself?
Get help sooner.
Ooh, yeah.
Get help sooner. Don't suffer in silence.
Yeah.
Don't suffer in silence. There is such a great reward waiting for you. If I would have gotten help sooner and not suffered the way I did, I can only imagine how big we would be right now.
Yeah. Who's one person who's inspired you on this journey?
My mom.
Yeah.
My mom effortlessly attracts and makes friends. And I admire that about her so much. She keeps quite a social calendar, 83 years old, and you still have to try to catch her at home. You know what I mean? And I'm very, very blessed that our organization as a company, my overarching company is Primerica Financial, right?
Okay.
So I've been on the Women in Primerica advisory group and board. I graduated to the board. I'm so excited. But to have that community of women who are sharing, right? Who are trying to uplift you, who are trying to really help you. I don't see that a lot because I have a lot of women who are business owners that I connect with, and they can't collaborate with other women in their industry because it's considered competition.
Yes.
So I know what a resource and what a treasure that is. And I don't take it for granted.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So we are coming up on time.
Yeah.
So where can people find you?
Thank you for asking. So, of course, online, my tag online is Mrs. Moneymaster, like MRS Moneymaster. And our office is at 485 Titus Avenue in Irondequoit, right near Hudson Avenue.
Perfect. Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, this was so fabulous.
Thank
I hope you
you.
enjoy the rest of the conference.
Oh,
and
I know.
Until next
Amazing
time,
women
remember,
here.
I know. It's just incredible.
What do they got to remember until next time?
Big dreams and small steps will transform your life.
Wow.
In this next part of the podcast, you will hear from a couple other women that we got to chat with at the conference. And so just some backstory, Jazzy was asked and then invited me to go along with her to do some professional development at this Women Empowering Women conference. And she was doing some media training for the women at the conference. And so we had a booth set up. And the idea was to help people get more comfortable in front of the camera and behind the microphone. You know, as you are promoting, whether you are promoting your own business or you are an employee for a company and are able to get in front of the camera and talk about your story, your business, your place of employment, opportunities that they may have, there are some things that you can think about to improve that experience, both for yourself and the experience of the consumer. And so we created a checklist that we were able to walk people through and give people the experience of sitting down and having a conversation with us. And so you're going to hear from a couple women. We get to hear about their experience at the conference, who they're inspired by. And so we'll hear from Shalom about why she works for the Aquatics department for the city and what it means to her and the culture that they have. We also talked to Maribel, and she is a multi-business entrepreneur. And so prior to hitting record, she was like, I don't know which business to talk about. And, so we had a discussion around what do you feel needs more engagement at the moment, but also like, be yourself, be all of you. You are a multi-business entrepreneur. So be that in here, and really see where the conversation flows. And we talk about that a little bit in the conversation. So it was a really wonderful experience. I'm really grateful that Jazzy asked me to come along and I got to meet these incredible women and have the following incredible conversations. We just sat in on an incredible talk where we talked about our snap or our elevator pitch. Yes. And so I would love to hear yours.
Absolutely.
All right.
My name is Shalom Singer. I am the Aquatic Supervisor for the city of Rochester. And we have so many opportunities available within the city when it comes to aquatics. So everything from lifeguarding to swim lessons to water safety and just the understanding of how water is such a part of our lives.
Yes.
So as a result of me working as the aquatic supervisor for the city of Rochester, my staff and my team have empowered Rochester to provide swim lessons across the city, as well as jobs for 15-year-olds to seniors as lifeguarding and have the understanding to save a life, as well as having open swim available to the whole community at any times from morning all the way sometimes into the evening.
Amazing.
Yes. And we are currently looking for summer lifeguards right now to provide swim lessons to the community, as well as water safety understanding and free swim. So lifeguards start at 15 years old, and our training is in spring break. So who do you know?
Yeah. So what drew you to that work?
So I've always had my foot in aquatics. So like I said, I started as a lifeguard at 15 years old, one of my first jobs. And then from there, I noticed how much I loved teaching. And so going to school, becoming still lifeguarding, so still have the opportunity, continuing to teach, pursuing physical education. I ended up still becoming aquatic director in another state, and then ended up coming back to Rochester. So focusing on still community activities. So fitness and wellness have always been in my life and continuously still is.
So if you could describe the culture in aquatics in, let's say, 3 words, what 3 words would you use for the culture?
Definitely connected, safety, and fun. So fun doesn't come before safety. Safety is first, and then it's fun. So staying connected, understanding what happens when it needs to happen, and then the safety part of it, of course, and then that fun. There's no doubt, no lifeguard ever did not have fun at work.
Yeah. In this journey that you've been on, who is someone that's inspired you?
Oh, definitely my brother. My brother has inspired me. My brother passed. There was a drowning incident that happened, and he was a very strong swimmer, so it can happen to anyone. The current took him, and the undercurrent, and for him to always know and love the water, it can happen at any time to anyone. So that understanding of where I am now, letting people understand that we need to do and get the word out just where it's engraved in us, that we live in water's all around us. So my brother definitely is an inspiration to me to just keep moving forward, do what I do, and I love what I do.
Yeah.
So that my brother is definitely, and my mother, of course.
Yeah, that's really, really beautiful.
Thank you.
If someone wants to reach out to you, contact you, where should they find you?
They can find me, my email, shalom.singer, cityofrochester.gov, or they can also go to our central, the City of Rochester site, and look under Aquatics, and there's plenty of connections. My email's on all the flyers with Aquatics, so if you have any questions, feel free to email me. And we have 3 certification classes coming up. So, but our pools are open, and you don't even have to wait till the summer. Come on swimming.
My name is Maribel Torres, and I am an entrepreneur. Exciting to be here, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yes. So tell us a little bit more about who you serve as an entrepreneur.
I serve people that are very tired, looking to be active, looking to be healthy, and looking to feel good about themselves inside and out.
What drew you to this?
Results. Seeing people that were working out and going out, and I see those results. So I wanted to bring it to my community that are needed more. But because I am a Latina, so I want to reach out with the Latino community, and I want them to understand what is means to be healthy and active, and not just going to the doctor and waiting for them to tell them what to do. If not, to become self-sufficient, being themselves, looking for a good trainer and coach that they trust.
Yeah, that trust is everything. Mm-hmm. And finding community of people who understand your culture, your heritage, where you've been, what you're going through, can make a big impact on that journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we are at the conference today. Can you tell us a little bit about, what's a tidbit that you're taking away from today and, shouting from the rooftops tomorrow?
Oh, wow. Be confident. Be confident and know who you are, and that you don't have to ask permission to be you.
Ooh, I don't have to ask permission to be you. That is so good.
Because we're looking for so many validation and looking for applause that if we don't receive it, we are so down to ourselves, and we sabotage our goals. So here in this conference had taught me how to be you, and why not you?
Yeah.
So I love that.
And so someone that you're working with, let's say they're having a tough day, a tough week, and so they're not finding it intrinsically to just be able to get up and do the movement or do the work. How do you, what would you say to them to just help get them through? Because we all have those days that we're tired, or a lot of people want things from us. How do you work through those moments?
To show them how to take 5 minutes worry time.
What's that?
That means that every worry, write it down, journal about them, and then overcome them. And you will see that you feel more confident and more positive. And then take those power 30 minutes of doing some task. Can be breathing, can be some positive thoughts. Can do one task of whatever you do. If you do 5 or 6 things a day, so things to do. So just kill one task and see how you feel. And they will feel really good. They will feel better about themselves, knowing, wow, I can do this. And about the worry, if you read it and you write it down and you will see them, it's not so much worry anymore.
Yeah.
So that's what I tell them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's so interesting because we do get so in our own head. And so just being able to take things out of our brain and onto paper, that's huge.
It makes such a difference. I mean, I have another organization where I teach women entrepreneurs that they, like I said, you can do a business. Everybody can do a business. Maintaining the business is totally different. So when they feel tired, they don't want to do it anymore. They want to quit and just do something quick and fast, which they're not happy about it. I tell them, journal.
When you work with women entrepreneurs and when you work with people who are trying to improve their movement, what's the biggest lie that they tell themselves?
You cannot do it. What are you doing that?
Yeah.
She does it better or he does it better. You're not going to make it. Things like that. Those are lies. Those are lies that, but with doubt comes into your mind. And you can overcome that by saying, I can do it. I got this. Why not me? It goes again. Why not me? So those are the things that you can do to yourself to be positive. And I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Like-
It's that comparison.
Yes.
What are your non-negotiables while you're building your business?
My time.
Your time.
My time for myself.
Uh-huh.
Like for like reading or like just like waking up, my mornings, my family. So that's the no.
Yeah.
My time is not like I'm going to do my nails and feet. No. Or spa. My time is go to a road trip. I'm looking at the scenario, the panorama. I'm enjoying nature because that's me.
If you could share a meal with one person, dead or alive, famous, someone that you know, who would it be?
From the Bible, Joseph.
Okay.
Because he was so determined to be the best and determined to see his family. And when he helped his family, he couldn't stand like still. He cried not only because he saw them, but because he overcome what they didn't see in him.
Yeah.
So and I want to share that I have been following your footsteps because when I graduated from college, being here in this state by myself, I want to show my father that I could make it alone.
Yeah.
And I did it. I was here 19 and I graduated when I was 22.
Wow. You
So
did it, and you're doing it, and you're inspiring people and
Yes.
motivating people. And we are wrapping up on time, so I would love to share with the audience, where can people find you?
they can find me on Facebook. I am Maribel Torres, Maribel Torres. And I have a page. It's Amigas Conectadas. And also I have my fitness page where I give a lot of advice. It's a Fit Balance, and it's FITLANAZ, Fit Balance.
Okay. I love it.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for
Not a problem.
joining
Thank
today.
you.
This was so wonderful.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. This is amazing.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yes.
If you're enjoying this episode, check out High Vibe Table Talks, where we start to remove mental barriers and take action now so you can achieve your someday desires. I'm your host, Mershawn Hargrave, and if you've ever heard that little voice inside to go after something, but the fear around the unknown felt too big, this is the podcast for you. Listen and subscribe to High Vibe Table Talks on the JazzCast Pros Network with the podcast listener you're using right now, because it is high time you activated your high vibes.